Hello everyone. Good morning. Good morning. Good evening. So can you confirm me if you guys can see my screen?
Yes, visible.
Okay.
Mhm.
All right. So as you can see, today I'll be taking one workshop related to master network automation. And in this workshop, I would cover few examples from Python network automation, and I'll give you some pointers from Ansible and REST API, PyAts, and what the curriculum looks like. So basically, this will be 2 to 3 month of course. Today we are just taking the workshop related to the same, so that we can see how the batch should look like, and what are the modules that we would be covering in this 2 to 3 month of batch. And as you can see, there are two batches for the network automation. So we have batch one and batch two. So someone who is looking for IST, Indian timing, a late evening batch, then you can prefer going with batch two. Someone who is looking in Indian time zone, an early batch, then you have another batch for the same. Okay, so we can get started. I see we have participant now. So let me introduce myself. My name is Sagar Dhawan, and I would be taking this batch end to end. I hold CCNP and DevNet certification, and I work as network automation for MNCs and freelancing project. And I've delivered this training since 2019. A lot of batch I've taken, and a lot of candidates have trained on automation side. And I also take batches on CCI Enterprise, CCI Security, DNAC, ICE, and SD-WAN, and Python network automation with Cisco DevNet. So these are some trainings that I do, and also do the corporate training. So before starting with any topic, let me also show you the Cisco training tracks. Okay, so if you filter over here for any of CCNP track, okay, so you can see I've just filter for CCNP track. There is a topic for automation, implementing automation from for Cisco Enterprise Solution. These are the concentration paper, and one of the paper is automation. Similar way, if you click on let's say CCNP security, so you have a topic dedicated to security side, implementing automation for Cisco security solution. Similar way, you click on for let's say data center, you have a topic called implementing automation for Cisco data center solution. So automation is very important these days, and Cisco has included one of the paper from the concentration level on every track. that we have here: enterprise security, data center, service provider. See, for the service provider, this is the track, right? And when considering all, combining all, they also came up with a separate track called as DevNet. Okay, so you can see over here DevNet Associate, DevNet Professional. There is DevNet Expert as well. Okay, so this topic is also being touch based in this program of ours, which is called Dev Associate 200901, which will cover most of the topics from the CCNP Enterprise Automation topic, CCNP Security Automation topic, and CCNP Data Center Automation topic. Okay, so DevNet will consist of lot of topics from these individual track. Plus, we have our custom modules as well, designed for the network professionals. So you can see here, this would be the curriculum that we would be following. So first we will start Python theory. So this is week 1, where we will go through the hands-on on the basic of Python theory, as most of you guys from the network side, but may not be from the Python side. So this is the week 1 planning. Then we go start with our lab exercises. That is from the week 2 onwards. So regularly, the candidate ask, "I'm not from the programming side, but I'm good with networking side. I have 10 years of experience. I have 15 years of experience. So does your program help me?" So it will definitely help you because, as I told you, week 1 is only for the theoretical topics. Okay. And then when we move to week 2, then we will discuss about the hands-on practical. So when we talk about hands-on practical, as you know, this is a automation topic. All that traditional things that you do, logging to the devices, taking VLAN output, fetching of some show run output, those are traditional, those are manual. With writing a simple script, you can fetch this in much faster pace. Plus, you can do it on over on 100 or more devices. Okay, so that is the purpose of automation. So we go hand by hand from this topic, which will all be discussing about your traditional job to automation side. So all these are the use cases, like logging to this vendor, logging to 100 of devices, reading from Excel, configuring some OSPF process, taking back the logs on the another separate Excel. So these are all the use cases, regular expressions. Okay. After the completion of this module, the Python library module, then we go to our second network automation tool, which is called as Ansible. Maybe most of you have heard about Ansible. Ansible is also used in all the top MNC companies. So we'll cover all the Ansible related topics here, writing the playbook, loops, conditions, AWX, okay, and writing the custom Python library, Jinja templating. So all related to Ansible would be covered here. Then we move to REST API. So when I discuss about the REST API and XML API, I would be targeting vendors like SD-WAN, ACI, DNAC, Meraki. And this is where we will be talking more about the HTTP and its operations, headers, status code. Because as you know, REST API is for the graphical interface automation, whereas Ansible and Python, you can use it for SSH type of automation. So we'll discuss about that in some time. So this is just an overview, like how the main course of 3 month would look like. So today is just an sample live class to discuss about all the various things that would come. And then the fourth module would be Cisco DevNet, which I was just showing you, which comprises most of the topic taken from SP, enterprise, data center, and security. So we will be going through this as well. So four modules that I have written, or which I've just showed you guys. So I'm considering the hands-on, but if you want, I will write it all the things that we are going to discuss. So first week would be Python theory. Then we discuss Python and its practical scenarios. Okay, so let's say hands-on. Then we have Ansible and hands-on related to same. Then we have REST API and hands-on related to same. Then we have Cisco DevNet 200901. And as a bonus, I would be also covering something for robot framework. And then you will get Pi ads as a bonus included into this. Okay. So this is how the actual batch would look like. And also there are 10 projects that would be given to you as a hands-on assignment where you will write the code yourself. So the end goal of this batch is that participants start writing their own codes. Okay, so the batch main intention is that whoever is joining this course start writing their own script. They start thinking about the logic behind the script, convert any requirement into a needful automation script, and then you know uh, they have a good hands-on with the automation side. So this is the main goal of this. Along with this batch, you will receive all the lifetime access to the class recordings. As you know, the class would be happening on the Zoom meeting, and then I would upload it to the LMS or the Learn portal. You will have the lifetime access to it. We will provide you 6 months of remote lab, 24 bar 7, which comprises of Cisco routers, switches, and Juniper, Palo Alto, F5, FortiGate, all the all the ready-made nodes, all the ready-made things that you get it. Okay, so my backend team will join and assist you with setting up your home lab. So the requirement is you have minimum 16 GB RAM plus a 4-core CPU on your machine. You can take it on your home lab as well. All right. So these are few things, and definitely all the reading materials and all the scripts and all the support that you need it from your production. So we will be discussing all that. So this in nutshell look like the whole batch would look like. Rest later I will be passing on the call to my admission team, so they will give you more detail. Okay, in better way. So let us come out now and let us talk some technical part. Okay, before going to technical part, let me show you. This is how the lab it looks like. This is where you will receive nodes like Palo Alto, iOS XE, ASA firewalls, FortiGate, Arista, router switches, and these are all Catalyst router switches. Okay, and also feel free to ask for more nodes, and we will give that to you without any extra costing. So FILTM, or if you want Nexus devices or any other corner devices, we will add that to this and give it to you at the time of home lab setup. Or if you want it during the remote lab session, we can also add those. So as I told you, this is hosted at our side. You will have 6 months of access, 24 bar 7. and you can also run it on your side, on your own laptop, provided you have minimum 16 GB RAM to just spin up few basic devices. If you spin up entire thing, then you might need more than 32 GB. Okay, but we don't need everything at a time, right? We can just spin few devices, keep them on, and then work on this. This lab is compatible in almost all the operating system. A- apart apart from if you don't have any issues with the virtualization, because these are virtualization labs. Okay, I'm talking about home lab. In a case of people opting for home lab, make sure your devices are compatible to run virtualization. Okay, because there are certain cases where virtualization is disabled or don't support in your motherboard. Could be Windows, could be Mac, or whatever machine it is. There are chances that the virtualization doesn't support. So in that case, we can't help you. You can make use of the remote lab. You get part of the course itself, 24 bar 7 open for 6 months. Use it, run all the practical scenarios. If you need extension, we do allow for another 15-20 days. If you want to extend it for a couple of more months, we do have the rental program as well, where we give all the ready-made labs for almost every courses and at very reasonable pricing. If in case your home lab is not supporting and you don't want to spend a huge money on buying a new laptop, okay, so you can just pay very small amount and take our rental program. All right, so this is about the lab. Now let us go to the networking side here. I doubt. What are the what are the challenges that you see, or let's say, what do you normally do in your production these days? I mean, if you have to fetch something or you have to do the configuration, so how do you do that in your production? Do you have any script writing, or are you doing it manually? I think you guys can do it. You can unmute. Okay. So those who are saying manually, what type of things are you doing manually?
Like iOS upgrade,
Sorry.
compliance, iOS upgrade of the device, and
Okay.
compliance check, like whether the device are have a standard configuration,
Mm-hmm. Yes,
and
correct.
and the troubleshooting part, like if you go log into the device and check the routing table stable, like status like BGP, OSPF,
Mm-hmm.
and if we want to do some ping or trace route, then we will like log in through SSH, so instead of using anything kind of the like script or anything. If we want to know like this uh, need a status from the like 50 to 100 device, still we doing a manually, not a script wise. so
Okay.
so so lots of time is going on a manual thing. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So let's say that manual execution of the changes is one of your issues. Okay, what are the other challenges?
Let's say if there is a problem with the device, so we manually run the commands and do the health check
Okay.
to go through all the information.
Well, okay. So let's say health check. Okay. So where you do a manual effort. What else?
Deployment, if there are any configurations to be done, let's say
Mm-hmm.
on the firewalls, sometimes we add rules and routes and other
Okay.
configurations.
Okay. So let's say firewall policies and other configurations. Okay. What other things?
Malicious
Okay.
IP blocking.
IP blocking. So IP
Yes.
blocking is again a part of configurations itself. Okay. So you are just telling one use case from what firewalls can do. But again, that's a configuration part. Okay. What else?
Preventive
Device
maintenance
backup.
activity.
Sorry?
Device backup configuration.
Device backup configuration. What else?
Compare backup.
Software software upgrade.
I think
Uh,
device backup configuration, software update, and manual execution of the change window will all be one point because it's all related to each other. If you want to upgrade your device, the first thing you do is you backup, you take a
But
backup.
I agree with you, but here they are not totally same as well because taking configuration backup versus doing the upgrade is two different thing. Wherein the software upgrade you only do the software part of it. Okay, though it will all come under configuration and reboot, etc. But they're two different things here. Okay. Anyway,
so
yeah. Next.
managing utilization report and verifying that utilization report.
Okay, utilization report. So this utilization report basically deals with bandwidth or the RAM storage.
Top talkers.
Okay. What else?
So preventive maintenance activities
What is
comes
that?
under uh, managing the device, if the devices are any faulty sometime long, we have to manage that for to uh, I think it comes under health checkup. Sorry.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, no issues.
Oh,
What else? What else do you think you do certain things which is time consuming plus leads to human errors? Though we have taken the subheadings, and might be that's why you might be thinking that most of the things are getting covered. All right. Otherwise, this could be a list of 10 pages as well. That configuration, VLAN configuration, interface, that the etc. It would have gone to 10 pages, but we have done the subheadings so that most of the things will go into configuration. It will go to the fetch of the configurations. Taking backup could be one more major task. Upgradation, utilization report, right? So, is there any other things which you recall of? Sometimes we also do the audit reports. based on the management requirement. Okay, based on requirement. Say for example, if my customer wants to upgrade all their ISR 4K routers, which is currently running on 17 dot, let's say 9.3. So as of first, they want to check how many devices are either running or this, or they're already present on the target release of 17.9.6. So this is a requirement which comes to you, and you will make a scripting to run it over on let's say 100 of routers and get them the report stating that this is the device, this is the current version, and this is the serial ID and whatever other information you want, serial ID or processor ID or host name or whatever you want it. Okay, so sometimes the requirement can also come from the customer side, and you have to write a script to meet that expectation. This is called audit report. Similar way, let's say report can be for ACLs, access list, to get all the access list permit and deny under certain CCTV access group. So you want to see how many IPs are there and how many IPs are not there. Similar way, an audit report can be to find out all the logging server or NTP server, whether it's pointing to this or to this or not to this. So these are all called audit report. Based on the requirement, you write your own code, and you never know what type of requirement they want and what type of columns they want. Might be some will say that give me management IP, host name, the neighbors, the top talkers, show clock, and all this. Some will say give me IP address and give me the NTP, present NTP configured, and give me the present logging server, and this is only I need. So it depends on the requirement to requirement, and you need to write your code and give the needful things. Okay. Similar way, uh, you can also think about multi vendors requirements. Multi vendor requirement in the sense, normally in the change window, we do upgrade one set of devices. Let's say if it is a Cisco device, we do upgrade only Cisco device, or if we have to configure few things only on Cisco, we do it on the Cisco itself. But with the writing of the automation script, you can do it along on different multi-vendor platforms in a single script itself. So this also save lot of your time, and the script will perform all the changes or any configurations that it has to do it. So automation do support multi-vendor as well. Have you thought about your day zero ZTP process, zero touch provisioning? So this can also be automated via the REST API process, where all the license from the smart account has to be pulled or got authenticated by the end devices, the ZTP process. And usual things, very regular things like, let's say you have thousands of VMs, might be in the cloud or might be in your virtualization, and you just have added some services like, let's say SSHD, or some services like uh, some port services, and you want to reload all the VMs. So just with one single script or one single ad hoc command, you can just restart the whole servers. You don't have to do it manually. Okay, so automation is applicable on the virtualizations as well. And sometimes what happen, you would be asked to give the exact data. Okay, exact data in the sense someone wants to get the uptime, only the uptime. They are not asking you the entire whole command, only the uptime. So you can integrate other logics here. Regex stands for regular expression. You can include regex or regular expression along with your Python script to get you a better outcomes, better output, and get it deliver this requirement in an Excel format or CSV format. Okay, so integration with other logic or other libraries also supported here, and it don't need any paid version or any premium version. You just need to know how to integrate and get the requirement done. Okay. Now most of the things we have covered here, but let me tell you something from auto backup concept. So as per the auto backup concept, you can schedule your task on every Friday or any day of a week, let's say around at 1 a.m. CST. So my script will auto run and take the backups and would be saving this copy of backup somewhere locally or somewhere in the FTP server. I don't need to be in front of my machine to run this script. So the auto scheduling part of it, like a cron jobs basically, it will run, it will trigger and give me the needful backup. Okay, so these are also some use cases which can be incorporated in the script to get us more better outcomes. Okay, what else? What are the other things, or you can just think about automation side of scenarios. Have you thought about inventory management? So let's say if I have hundreds of devices in my network, its credentials, because in a shared shared customer list, we might be dealing with hundred of customers, and each customer might have their own set of IP schemas with their credential. So if I receive a ticket for, let's say, customer 10th customer, so how do I know what is his core devices, what is his distribution devices, what are his IP schemas, and what is his credential, right? So there are inventory management applications where we can fetch the needful details and get the output, right? So it comes under inventory management like IPAM, these kind of tools which can be used for inventory management, and we can fetch the credentials of that customer with the IP list and do our job. Okay, so once it used to be all Excel part, people used to have Excel with hundred of customer list and refer that. But you know the problem with Excel, it's something, uh, you know uh, after some time it will start lagging or delay, or the Excel is not updated, or you have to still manually update the list. Might be you went on vacation and something was changed, and when you came back you don't know what got changed and you never updated, and then one fine day you receive a alert or ticket and you don't have the updated data. So these are all problems with the Excel part. Automation means it's a centralized, you update manually or you can update it automatically on the backend and fetch the detail as and then when you need it. Okay, and one more thing I just want to add, automation is irrespective of vendor. That means it's multi-vendor capability. You can run almost the same script on every devices or every family, hardware family. Say for example, if you are writing a script called show run on Cisco device. This is a 10 line of script. Just with 2 to 4% of modification, okay, just to 2 to 4%, which means 2 to 4 lines or less. The same script can be reusable on Palo Alto or Cisco or Juniper or any other vendor. So you don't have to learn automation only for Cisco and then think that it would be totally different for another vendor. That's a wrong concept. Okay, whatever you learn writing on, let's say, Cisco, the same thing can be reusable for any other vendor with just minor 2 to 4% of changes. So that thing we will be checking out in this full curriculum, in the full course, like what are those changes and how you can uh, convert a Cisco script into something for Palo Alto or FortiGate and fetch it. So I think these are few use cases altogether. Some came from you, almost 80% came from you people, and we discussed almost all the pointers here, like where do you need automation and what is the traditional thing that you still do in the in your production scenarios. What can be done to have a automation scenarios here. So is there any question before I go to next slide?
Hello, Sagar.
Yeah, hello. Yes, go ahead.
Yeah, any info related to traffic cases like traffic generators used in this course.
Yes, you can use for traffic generation generator also. So libraries like Scraply, they are used for traffic generators like layer 2 traffic generator, layer 3 ping traffic generators. So they are also used for the traffic generators. Okay.
Okay.
All right. Now let us check how the automations are done. Any idea like how automations are done or how the automations are deployed? What is your thought process about the deployment? Let's say in a existing network where you uh, do take the needful things over on SSH or something. So how do you do automation?
We use any existing frameworks using which we connect to device and do the request.
Sorry.
We will use any frameworks to do the same. Like we can install PyAds like framework and we can do.
No, no. I'm asking basic question. Like, how is the automation deployed? I mean, what basic things you need to have the automation thing?
Sir, script is required normally.
You will have a
Ganesh.
controller node where you would employ or deploy any of these scripting, and through that you would call.
Yes, via scripting using.
Okay, so let me again cut down the question. So let's say, uh, what are the ways that we connect to the device? What are the
Through
communication protocol that we use?
SSH telnet.
Okay,
or through console
communication
also.
to network device. So SSH,
SSH
what is the port number?
22.
22.
Is it
22.
TCP or UDP?
It's TCP.
Okay, what is the next one that we have? Telnet.
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 Telnet is what?
Telnet is also TCP.
JCP
Port
port
number.
23.
21, 23,
23.
What
23.
else we have?
You can
Through
do
web
through the
browser,
REST API. Would we call
HTTP,
it as a
through
REST
mail,
API
HTTPS.
deployment model?
through web,
Sorry.
through HTTP, sir.
HTTP.
Yes. So it's not called REST API. It will be HTTP, but
Okay.
method method via REST API we can write, but REST API runs on the HTTP protocol. So what port number?
80, or
80.
it can be
80.
HTTPS also.
Okay, port 80 or 443. But let me
Yeah.
tell you, if someone asks you, then just tell it is HTTP protocol, because the SSL or TLS is the security part of it. The protocol that will carry your data is HTTP port, which is
Okay, sir.
TCP 80.
HTTP is mainly port 80 and HTTPS is 443, right? Because
See,
HTTP is not secure. HTTPS is considered to be secure.
hmm, okay. So your HTTPS is the secured portion. However, that protocol is also taking HTTP, whereas S stands for SSL TLS, which is the security part of it. Okay. What other protocols we have?
Netconf.
Okay, let's say REST conf. So how it
No,
works?
no, Netconf.
Okay. What about the protocol number?
830 for
Netconf is
netcom.
830.
TCP or UDP?
UDP.
UDP, I mean.
UDP.
Yeah.
Netconf will work on the SSH itself. Okay. So you need to have SSH enabled. Plus, you will write a line called netconf yang to activate on the Cisco devices. What about the REST conf? On which protocol? So it works on the HTTP itself. Is there any other protocol that we are using? Can we use SNMP for some of our work?
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Yes.
And
Yes,
what protocol?
UDP 161.
161 UDP to set traps.
Okay. Now in this communication protocol, we will not go with this one because as you know that it carries a plain text. So there is a man in middle attacks possible and not a secure mechanism. And we will also not go with SNMP because it's again UDP and clear plain text. The configuration management is not that great. Though you have the counters and other things which you can use, but configuration management is not that great. Now we are left with uh, SSH. We are left with HTTP process, and these are the API Yang models. So these are few very actively used communication protocol. SSH being used in all the Catalyst devices, or you can also say on all the legacy devices. Okay, so all those examples like ISR 4K, CAT 3950, all those devices. But as you also know, these are all also getting end of life, and the newer version is either 9xx or 8xx, which comes with a better graphical interference or a better graphical interface. So you are shifting towards the HTTP now. Though SSH will be present, it will be still used, but you're still moving towards the graphical. Okay, and in the case of STTP, all the other vendors like Palo Alto, Cisco FTD, Cisco ICE, SD-WAN, SD-WAN, let's say we manage, ACI, let's say Epic Controller, SD Access, let's say DNAC Controller. These are all graphical dashboard. Correct. I don't connect to them via SSH to fetch me any details. I go to the graphical interface, log in, then I upload the security policy, or I do the routing, or I fetch any logs, or have to collect the inventory list. I all do it via graphical. So when I have the graphical, how do I log into them? I make use of HTTP. Okay, that's HTTP, and then I put that controller IP detail. I get the login form, enter the username, password, and I get into it. So it's all type of HTTP automation, which we call REST uh, API automation, REST API automation, or API automation. And coming down to the netconf and restconf, these are the new protocol suite which you will see in the latest Catalyst devices like 9000 series and 8000 series, and almost all the devices that uh, compatible with DNAC controllers. Okay, let's say if you have a requirement to onboard all the devices to a DNAC controller, then you have to activate this protocols like netconf, restconf, so that you can onboard it to the DNAC purpose or the DNAC controllers. So this is a new communication protocol suite with better algorithms, which is replacing your legacy SSH and HTTP. Okay, but again, as of now, you can see SSH, HTTP, RESTconf, NetConf in major of production. So considering these as the best protocol, all our automation that we would be writing or preparing would be based on this protocol itself. We will not touch Telnet and SNMP, considering the issues that they are having, or they are, and also you don't see them to be enabled as well. They would be disabled by the administrator or by your network design itself.
And sir, like in
Yeah.
Palo Alto, we have virtual machines also, like for firewalls. So that is why also in the early stages, like when Palo Alto was used, so HTTP was very
Hmm.
on top of that. So I think so in other switches also, I think so the virtual machines would be there, right? Like the images
Virtual,
which,
you mean to say virtual machine deployment?
like in Palo Alto, we deploy firewalls as a virtual machine, and they
Correct.
have their own badges.
See, Palo Alto deployed in the VM also has a graphical interface to apply the manual configurations, right? I mean, how you get the access to the dashboard on a Palo
Yes,
Alto?
yeah, through HTTP. You're
Correct.
right.
Yeah. So my
Yes.
point is HTTP here, okay? Not whether it's a VM deployed or hardware deployed or AWS deployed. Wherever it is deployed, the front end you get it from the HTTP itself, which is called graphical interface, GUI.
Yes.
Okay. So these are all the major communication protocol. Is there anything which we might have missed from the communication protocol? Okay. Now, how to get started? This is something which will clear most of your doubt regards to the deployment. So let's say you have an existing network. I'm not saying that a network which is going to come after 2 years or 3 years. We can't plan a automation for that. Let's say on an existing network. which already comprises of certain architecture. Could be three-tier architecture, could be spine leaf, could be two-tier architecture, whatever it is. There are already the access layer devices, distribution layer devices, core devices. You have end machines, CCTV, an existing network. How do we deploy it on a let's say on a day-to-day production scenario? How do you deploy this automation services? Let's say as of now, you're running all via traditional manual with a putty sessions or secure CRT or mobile XTerm, taking remote on SSH. Already you might have a VPN connectivity, etc., and you're taking the access, doing the CLI commands via secure CRT, mobile XTerm. So how do you come with your automation scenario? So first thing is that you need a automation controller. So this controller can be, it can be a Windows machine running any operating system. As such, there is no clause of having certain thing. Or it could be a Ubuntu machine, Ubuntu or a Linux machine, or it could be a MacBook. Okay, it could be anything. As a such, a controller that is needed based on any operating system. Now, what are you going to install on this operating system? You need your programming language, Python, that you can download from python.org. It's free of cost, no charges. You need IDE, integrated development environment. There are multiple softwares. You can go with Microsoft Visual Studio, VS. You can go with JetBrains PyCharm application. You can go with tools like Atom, Eclipse, or simple as Notepad++. But again, I will not recommend Notepad++ or Sublime, at least in the beginning phase, because they are not user friendly. Whereas if you go with the professional tools like VS and PyCharm, you get options like auto pop-up, auto error detection, color cascading, color differences. So a lot of things makes things easier, with the VS and PyCharm.
Sir, we can use Google Colab also, right?
Yes, there are many. There are like thousands of such applications. You can use it. These are some few of the things which are widely used. Okay. Visual Studio, PyCharm, or any items, anything comes from the official vendor. What else we need? Automation controller, that is your server, where you are going to deploy Python, you are going to install ID. Also remember the operating system like Ubuntu, Linux, or an Apple OS, they also comes by default terminal. So you can also use terminal to write your script and execute, but again, it's one of type of in a non-user friendly interface. So it is better you install Microsoft Visual Studio or PyCharm on this. Okay, what else is needed apart from Python and ID? You need the communication protocol, because you'd be talking to the device now, right? So that we already discussed from our previous slide. So I will be knowing about my network, whether I have SSH allowed or HTTP allowed or any of this other things allowed. So let me pick SSH is allowed, because this is something which you guys might be going through, or let's say HTTP. So these two are some majorly used protocol if I am taking a putty over on SSH, or if I'm accessing via browser HTTP to vManager. So these are some protocols, and my logins, my own
बोला
login credential.
वसीम भाई वसीम भाई आपको मैं इसमें जाता हूँ बाद में जाता
Hello. Okay, those who are not speaking, you guys can be on mute. Communication protocol. What else is needed? Controller, Python, ID, communication protocol. Do we need anything else? Do we need to install anything on the network devices? Do we need to install anything?
No.
No,
No.
I don't think so. We need to install anything.
Anyone who's saying yes? Okay, so there are two types of network automation tool. One is called agent and one is called agentless. So right now we are discussing about agentless. So tools like Python, Ansible, and REST API, they all comes under agentless. That means you don't have to install anything, any agent or any extension on the network devices. But there do come some automation tool like Salt, Chef, Puppet, which needs some extension, that a small extension, KB size extension, which needs to be added on the devices. Then only these servers can poll the device, get the configuration, can push the playbook, cookbooks, and all those things on the agent. But right now we are not discussing this. Neither this is that popular when coming to the agentless, because no one wants to add any extension to their network devices, because they themselves would not know what exactly that extension is taking out the data, or could be the important IP schema credentials. So no one is interested to do some agent based automation. Okay, so as of now we are going through the scenario where we don't need anything to be installed on the network devices. So it's a pretty simple thing. You need a server, you need programming language, you need an application where you can write your script, and you need to have your device with your credential working over on SSH or HTTP to the network devices. So as an example, you can go, you can start with the basic like Cisco device itself. So these are the very minimal requirement to have your automation started. Very, very minimal. And instead of server, you can have your own laptop, which can act as a controller. So if I'm installing this on my own machine, I'll just download VM workstation and upload the emulator, upload the Windows server as a controller, and put all the installation file to that. Okay, all these three things will be needed. But in the production, you just need to have one Windows server where you can install Python as a programming language, ID, and definitely you might have some test lab environment, right? Never do it on the production until you know the outcomes of that script. You can make use of a test lab and make sure you have a connectivity to the devices, whether on SSH or HTTP. And whatever we discuss in the class, you can first test it on your test lab, and then if needed, you can do it on a production to fetch something.
Sir, I have a question. This automation controller will always be software based, or we can have a hardware based controllers also in such
They
cases?
are they are only the software based. Okay, there is nothing like a hardware which you get uh, to
Like
deploy
we
all.
have, like
Yeah.
we have in APs and access points. We have controller.
Which
So
one?
nothing like we have API's controller, so nothing like that is there. Only Cisco like software based is in the market now.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. So in terms of cost effective, VM, if you have a virtualization, then VM is going to be free. You're not going to have a dedicated server just for running this. So you will already have in your production. You just need another VM. This is free. You can get the community version of Microsoft Visual Studio or PyCharm. Again, it's free. Protocol comes something inbuilt. You just need to have your networking skills to bring up the SSH and the connectivity. So, so this is all freemium content or free things. You just need to have the skill set to put them all in one bracket and run the show. So that is also the reason where the production is cutting down huge money on on the paid tools like HPNMI or CA Spectrum. Okay, there are many tools which does the work of monitoring, taking the backup, pushing the configuration, and people just cut down paying to them or paying to those tools, rather they start adopting this kind of automation, because here they don't have to pay anything, they just need the skilled engineers for them, and the engineers will build the script and have a auto backup configured and all those things etc is needed here. And also they don't hire a dedicated automation engineer, they expect the network person to learn the automation and do both networking and the automation both, just to cut down the costing of their opex. Okay, so this is one more thing that we wanted to discuss. So first we discussed about all the points related to the challenges and what are the automation steps that we can take. Second thing we discussed is the protocol or the communication to the network devices. Then we discussed what are the tools that we need. So let me just show you from an overview. These softwares are easily accessible. If you go to python.org, you will find the latest Python version available on different server operating system. So this is for Windows. If you want for Linux or Mac, you can download from here. Similar way, if you go to PyCharm community version, so this is where the community version is. It's totally free. You also get it for a different operating system. So if your server is on Windows, then you can download this. If your server was based on Mac, you have a different version of community version. If you are based on the Ubuntu server or controller was Ubuntu, then you will also find another version compatible with this. Okay, so all free so far. And coming to the test lab or your lab scenarios, you might have it in your production. Otherwise, you can take up anything like GNS tool, or you can take EVNG. So if you know how to build this on your lab environment or in your own laptop control as a controller, then do it. But as I told you, as an enrolled part of our course, we will give you the ready-made file itself. So that file will already be having the lab topology similar to this. And we have already done all the needful image deployment. Because this needs Cisco's license to download the software. So we have at our site, so that's why we have downloaded and done it as a ready-made, and we can give you as a over file format, which can be directly deployed in your machine. In your test environment or in your production environment, you might have the directly the hardwares. So that is also okay. But someone who has not enrolled but who wants to do it, you have to figure it out to get those images yourself. You don't need to have something all of this. You keep one router or one switch and just have a 10 to 20 occurrence of the same image. And then you can do the your own self studies if you are doing a self studies. But those people who are taking the course, the benefit is that you will go step by step and you will learn, you will write, and all your errors will be corrected, which you don't get in the self. In the self study, if you do a mistake or you're stuck, there is no one who is going to guide you, and then your automation uh, or the automation path or guide which you were following is all of no use then if you're stuck at the initial phase. So here we make you ready for all the initial infrastructure problems, and uh, and then we go through step by step in classes so that things remains easy for you to learn during your initial time period.
Sir,
Yeah.
only GNS3 will work, or even G we have to integrate with that?
You can use any of it. You can make use of GNS3 or you can make use of EVNG community version as well. Okay, there is one more which is called PNet Lab. So this also you can use, and there is also something called Cisco CML. Uh, Anything is okay, but not the packet tracer. Packet tracer will not work in this case. They don't have any automation Docker or container yet in the packet tracer. But other than that, GNS3 is good. EVNG community version, that is the free version, is good. Or you can go with the free version of the PNet Lab, or you can go with the CML as well, Cisco Modeling Lab. So whichever you have, you can do it. We are having the solution for the three of them. GNS if you want, we will give you. EVNG you want, we will give you, and PNet Lab you want, we will give you. So the backend team, our backend technical team, they will connect you over UltraViewer and help you do one of the setup on your machine for the enrolled people, especially. All right. So that is about your controller and all the Python software ID and the communication protocol. Because in the first class when I start, I will go to the devices and I'll show you how to configure them. So right now, these devices, some devices might be configured. Let's see. Yeah, so this is configured. This has an IP of 24.128. Let me see if the SSH is working on this. Password Cisco. Yeah. So this is a working lab scenario. But when we give you our lab, they all will be on a blank configuration. So that means you have to configure the management yourself first. So on your first class or second class, you will go and configure. Those information I have already provided, in the reading material itself, like what things you need to know to bring up. Just a minute. Yeah, these are some management configs that you need to know. Cisco iOS management configuration, Cisco ASA, Arista, VXRX. Okay. And HTTP, you know that it's a play and plug. You don't need major things to do it. You bring these devices. In the case of Palo Alto, it will automatically give you the management IP, and you just have to change the password and can start making use of it. Whereas in the FortiGate, you can set the automatic IP from the DHCP server and start using it. So these are all the images that we will keep it, and if there needs to be any other possible vendor, then we can also give it to you as a part of the package itself so that you can run your automation. And I'm using PyCharm at my side. So you can see that all my Python script I prepare on PyCharm. And for the REST API, I'm making use of an graphical based application called Postman for the API testing. And the same thing I then convert to Python script and also use my PyCharm for API automation. And for Ansible, though we can use PyCharm, however, I prefer to go with Ubuntu machine. So that's why for the Ansible alone, I will be going through the Ubuntu machine, and I'll also show you how can you have your own Ubuntu machine if in case you're using Home Lab. So these are some things which I will use in the class. So initially for all the Python and Python libraries, I'll prefer going with PyCharm tool. You can use PyCharm or Microsoft Visual Studio or any other tools of your choice. The end goal is that we need to get the solution for the script. That's all. Okay. You use any platform, but you need to get your outcomes. That is the main thing here. There is nothing like I should use only PyCharm or I can only use Visual Studio. There is nothing like hard coded what is good or what is bad. Whichever works good for you, feel free to use it.
Sir, if you have a 2960, 2950 switches, so it will support automation or in real world? Or there are specific models that we should
See,
see once?
there is nothing related to model compatibility. They must only run SSH. Do you have access to SSH? Then you can run
Yes.
your automation script easily on that. Okay, which device are you telling? Cisco model?
Sir, 2960, 2950 switches.
2960.
Yeah, and
Are
29.
they having SSH
Yeah, yeah,
capability?
yeah, yeah.
Then you can easily write your automation script. Okay. So automation for some level is very independent of what version you run, what hardware you run. They need to be from Cisco iOS, one thing. And second thing is whether you have the reachability over SSH to connect to it and get the needful things. So if you have these two things, it is very easy.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Or even Cisco iOS version will also not be, if it's updated or not.
Version will not come in picture for us.
Okay. Okay.
Okay. What will come into picture is whether it is iOS or iOS XC, XR, Nexus, FTD, anything apart from this, if Cisco would have had it, then might be the template is not available, we can't automate. But this model will come in iOS itself, Catalyst iOS. So you can automate it easily. Okay. So let's say now I have a box with me.
And sir, does we can do on Juniper also?
Yeah. Juniper also is a SSH based devices. So once you bring your management configuration on the Juniper, do the self-testing by going to putty or super putty, do the SSH, then you can just write your Python script to trigger the output for the Juniper.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
See, as of now, you see one device that I have is also very old devices. So what version it is running? So it is running some 15 series. See, 15 series. Nowadays, the versions have gone to 17x on iOS. This is very old device,
Yes.
and it's a iOS V. V stands for virtual. It's not even a hardware. It's a virtual environment. So in your production, you might be running iOS hardware, but here in the lab, we are running a virtual environment of it. and still I would be able to do the automation and fetch the thing. So the same script you can just reuse in your test environment or in your production to fetch the needful things. Okay, so what I did was let's say I configured all the management. I tested my management over on SSH is working fine or not. It's all good. Next, I'll go to this kind of tools. I already told you Python is installed. If it is installed or not installed, how do I come to know? You can just create one file called as testing script py and do use of your Python knowledge. You can just go and say hello world. Now those who doesn't know the syntaxing, don't question me as of now, because I told you in our class we go systematic from day one, where we are learning first Python and all its syntaxing. So as of today, as of now, you are in a free workshop where things would look little too much. But as I told you, this is just a free workshop. Later when you go get into the class from the next week, we would be following a systematic approach where we first go with the deployment of all the needful things. Then we discussed about what is Python, what is syntax, what is print statement, what is that parenthesis, what is inverted commas. So all that will be covered in the class. Okay. So as of now, you just watch me using the tools to write some programming. So this is a simple command, a simple syntaxing, and it gives me an output here. If there was any problem with my Python installation, or if in the case of writing a syntax, then I would receive an error stating that this is wrong, that is wrong. It gives me this kind of error. Okay, when things are good, it will not give you any sort of error. See, hello world. Similar way, if you wanted to take a username prompted by the executor, so you can go and write your input function saying that enter the username. Okay, now when you execute this, it is asking you, and you can type it. Similar way, you can just write it for password. Enter the password. Trigger this. You can trigger it via right click, or there is a small play button. So it is asking you username. It is asking you for password. Done. So this is how we write the script. Okay, these are very basic script for printing something on your screen, to collect the username, to collect the password, right? Similar way, you wanted to know the device IP. Enter the device IP. So now you type your username, admin, password is Cisco123, device IP is, let's say, 172.16.24.1. See. So this is how the script will prompt you. You give the detail, connect it with the Cisco, connect it with any SSH library, take the SSH to the device, say that you want to fetch the output of show IP in brief, and collect it, and you have it on your screen. So as simple as that. So we will write one script now, a full-fledged script to fetch the show run from some devices that is there in our test environment. So I'll go to my tool here, PyCharm tool. As we know, the device is here, script is here, and we are going to talk to each other over on SSH, right? I need Python library which is capable of SSH initiation. This is my script. I need a library. I'm writing a Python script. I need a library which is capable of SSH initiation, which will need username, password, IP address, initiate SSH connectivity to the box, and get all that manual thing. Manual thing would be I open my putty session, input the IP, correct? Input the username, password, and then I make SSH. But I don't want this traditional thing. I can't keep on doing it for 100 of devices one by one. Rather, I will put all my device list here, all my 100 device list here, and send it to the SSH, and it will happen via the scripting method automatically. Right? That is called automation rather than doing it manually. So which library I need? I will, let's say, go with Netmiko. Netmiko is a library which is already available in the Python marketplace, or it's already available in the GitHub. You just need to install it. So when you click on the plus symbol, you can search for the library. It says that multi-vendor library to simplify legacy CLI connection to the network devices. Click on the install package. You have a install package option here. Install that. You can close this. Click on OK. The installation is happening. You can see here the installation of the files, indexing. It says that package installed, right? There is some indexing going through. So just in 10-20 seconds, the library gets downloaded. It will need your internet access. The reason is, as of now, whatever you download it from the GitHub account, okay, which is a centralized cloud environment. So you need internet to download on the very first time. Later, if you don't have internet also, it's okay, because the library which you downloaded is sitting locally in your repository. I can show you that as well. If you scroll under the external libraries, under the site package, you will see that this will go and get downloaded. Okay, all the library will go and sit inside your uh, in the site packages itself. So once it is within this and the site packages, then basically you don't need any internet or anything, because they are now sitting locally. You can start writing or calling those library with the help of, let's say, from Netmiko import connect handler. Okay, so this is the library name, and this is the function of that Netmiko library. You can just test if this is working or not by right click and run. See, there is no problem. If the library was not downloaded and you just try to execute, then you get a problem saying that we do not know what is this. So always remember to download it. Let me write a script, because I think we are running out of time as well. So first, let me go with the device information. I need few details from the device. I want device type. So I'll show you how to find that. Let me put it as unknown. Then I need the IP address of the device. The IP address, I think, is 128 something here. Show IP int brief 128. So I'm going to keep that here. 172.16.24.128. Then I need username and password. So let's say my username is admin as per my management configuration I did. Then I have the password. We know that it by default takes TCP/22 for SSH connectivity. So if you want, you can define. Otherwise, you can leave it, because port number 22 for SSH is understandable. The library already knows that it should be over on the TCP/22. So nothing new for that. Then we take the SSH connectivity. So I'm going to pass all my detail to the function connect handler and give all the information. from this dictionary. Now what is dictionary? This is a Python's data type here. So all the data you are giving it to this. Now the connect handler will check the device type first and then do take the SSH connectivity. So when it is taking the SSH connectivity, it is similar as you go open the putty session, write your IP address, write the username, password, and then you execute it. Now we don't do manually. It will be taken care by my script automatically. You just have to define it one time. Next, once the device connection is established, let's say connection is successful at this point, then you can go and take any output. Let's say you wanted to take output of show run. We said we will take the output of show run. And then I want to make my computer read that output for me. I want that output to be visible over on my screen. Exactly, right? So how many lines it took? It just took 13 lines to connect with the box and to get me my output of this command. So how do I execute this? So I'll just right click and run this. But as of now, we have not done it 100%. It is 99% completed. You can see this is something which has to be backfilled. I want to show what are the different vendors that Netmiko is going to support. So when as from the vendor support, Netmiko will support all this vendor. Okay, all this vendor. This will cover Juniper, FortiGate, Huawei, HP, F5, Cisco. So you can see the Cisco different families. So almost 40 plus vendor Netmiko is going to support. Now, when I already know that it's a Cisco device at my end, I also showed you it was running 15 series. Then I'll just go to the Cisco column and let me see which is that vendor. So it's a Cisco iOS family. So I'll go and I replace this. I know my device, which is running 128, is having the device type of Cisco iOS. Now, since I've backfilled it, I'll go back and rerun the script. Now, what do you get? You got the output directly. You have given your script all the information. It didn't need any more inputs from you. It directly gave you the output on your screen. So if you just change this command to something like show IP int brief and trigger this, you will get the output equivalent to show IP int brief. If you wanted more number of output, then you just mention here list of show commands, make use of a list and put down all your CLI commands here. Show IP int brief. Let's say show run, show IP route, and make use of a for loop to execute for single command in list of command colon. Take this inside the for loop, replace your static line with the variable, and then execute this. See, you have the output of show clock, show IP int brief, and show run. If you want it to make bit more interactive, then you can go with something like this. Multiplied by 10 times. Output for and specify which command you need. So this will just serve as your, headline, or you can say that title. Before every output, you will receive a nice title now. See, something like this. Output for show clock, output for show IP int brief, output for show run. You can capture it on a backup file also. So as of now, whatever you see, you're seeing it on the output terminal. If you close this, it's gone. But if you wanted to save this on a notepad, you can go with open, define the path. You can go with your FTP, SCP, or in short, you can go with any local drive. So let's say I have one folder here called as backup collection. This is a backup collection. I'll make use of this path and say that backup. Okay, backup. You can define the device IP if you want, or if you're okay with just backup.txt as of now, because you have only one device. So you can just define the device IP as it is. Okay. And specify like as backup 123, backup 123 dot write, and whatever you want to copy. So let's say you wanted to copy this and then trigger this. So make sure your path is present. Okay. If your path is not present, then you should know to create it at the same time. Otherwise, it will say that the file is not present. So this is called open operation. A means create the file. By default, it will be R. R means file is already present. Now you can see on your output terminal plus on the file as well. So this is simple script to connect to one device and take the output and store it. Later in the class, we will see how to have multiple device, how to read from the external notepad device list, how to have the uh, inventory file like, this kind of Excel file. Let me show you. See, device list. So if someone gives you the Excel file with the device IP and the configuration, how do you run? So the things will change. Okay, the backbone or the skeleton of the script will remain as it is. However, you will keep adding more and more feature to the script. So that is how the automation would be done. When we start with the actual class, the things will look easy, and we will break a huge script into sections or parts so that you can easily digest that. If I start showing you a lengthy script, then might be you totally miss out the logic behind it. You can see here some script that we discussed in the class also.
Sir, if let's suppose network is converged and on monthly basis, small executions are being done. Let's suppose we are creating, let's suppose we are creating VLANs, like one VLAN. Maybe the requirement comes there from management. So my point of like the question was that let's suppose automation is done, everything is fine. But in such cases, because it would be just hardly 1-2 commands. So if the automation is running in half pathway, can we ask them that we should have a live CLI where we can do the command? I mean to say, let's suppose the session is done through automation, and then we should have a box where if let's suppose reach to some point where we can do live commands, like let's suppose I have created a VLAN config t and blah, blah, blah. So is it possible in such cases?
So your question is you want to push the config on an existing network.
Yes, sir.
Yeah,
Or
well, We can do
Because
that.
the commands would be very less. Like I mean to say, let's suppose the requirement now the network is already converged. Yes, for automation backup is there. It's done. It's one of the use case. But on other side, let's suppose everything is figure it out, everything is done. Um, on monthly basis, we hardly require VLAN or something like that, that we want to pull some information. So on that part, if we are doing automation, so that will make a sense, or you will
Are
think like there's
you mean to say on a whole month you're not doing any show command, you're not troubleshooting, you're not checking your routing table, you don't have any daily need of routing check or anything you don't have?
yeah, this is my main question. Yes, sir,
Yeah,
you are
then what is the point of that only automation you will use for a month? You can use it for your day-to-day purpose, right? If you want to
yes.
fetch, you want to do troubleshooting, you want to take the audit report, you want to prepare the report, then you definitely need to log into the device. And there is where the automation comes to make the job easier.
Okay, sir. Okay, okay.
Okay,
Yeah.
automation doesn't mean only config push once in a month. It can be used in your day-to-day troubleshooting or day-to-day networking life also. For
Mm,
someone who has nothing to log into device in a whole year, for him automation might be not making sense. But for someone who is day to day, at least 10-20 times log into the CLI or dashboard or check something, for them automation is really needed. It will cut down a lot of time on those repetitive tasks.
yes, sir. That makes a sense. Yes. Thank you, sir, for answering this question.
Okay. No, not a problem. Yeah, I was showing you later when the things grows into advanced level, then the things will not be as small as 13 lines. It will increase some more. Let's say this is the script where we discussed about regular expression to make an audit report to fetch the uh, to see, this is the audit report that we wanted in the class. Management IP, host name, serial ID, iOS version, total memory, free memory, utilization in percentage. And these were the CLI command given in the class. This is the formula, something we used, and this is the script that we prepared. So this will do the regular expression, get the data, and finally print it on a CSV file and give us the outcome, something similar to, let me show that. Yeah, I think it was here. So you can see some audit out or output report, something similar to this. So this report was made automated. If you have 100 of devices and these are the number of fields given to you by your management and expect you to get you the device 100 devices, it's a month based effort that you need along with your other day to day activities. But with the automation it took me only 2 to 4 minutes to get me this data. So I just give my device list and it will give me all the output in a single file, which I can use it in my team call, or I can send it to my client over on email, or if I have any portal, I can attach it. So as simple as that, you can cut down your manual efforts. Okay, you can make any list, any bandwidth report, any storage utilization report, RAM utilization report, the present iOS software report, anything, just in 2 to 4 minutes, it can run it over on 50 to 100 device and give the report. So which takes month of time to get you. And also there can be some silly copy paste human errors that you do. But with automation, the accuracy is 100% because this do the live SSH on the box and get you the result. Okay, that's the level of script that we are going to discuss in the class. And for more use cases, you can refer this document. I'll put the link here on the chat window. And as I told you, The bonus here would be robot framework, PyArt, which I'll be covering additionally along with this material. Okay, I think we had close to 2 hours of session now, and people would be joining from different time zone and different round the clock. You can ask me technical question. If there is no technical question, I'll pass it on to the admission team. So they will give you more detail about the costing and the schedule and the batch timing, duration, and all the needful things. So you guys have any question from the technical side, you can let me know.
So is the
Sir,
lab supportable in the MacBook? Home lab?
Sorry, come again.
Is the home lab supportable in the MacBook?
That depends on your MacBook virtualization concept, if it is working or not. Normally, from our side, it is compatible with all the major operating system, but sometimes the participant might have virtualization which is not supported. So in that case, we can't help it.
It is the recent version only. It's not the very old.
Sorry.
It is one of the recent version only. It's not the old one.
Then it should be supported, I think. Once the backend team will connect with you, they can check and they can let you know.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Sir, do you have any email address?
My admission team will give you the details, okay?
Okay, sir.
Email ID and the phone number, they will provide you.
Sir, by the way, in the market, is there any specific designation they announce HR people for automation related? As you said in the early session also that normally.
It is called as network automation engineers. Network automation engineer, network development engineers, or protocol testing engineers. Okay, senior network automation engineer. So these are some profiles or the designation names.
And just one question. And nowadays in production, I believe, okay, we can create our own Ubuntu or Python, but in production, there must be some software we use, like Reflex or other software. So still people follow the open route path, like create scripts and push this code, hold these scripts and just do the automation? Or is there any tools are being used in the production environment?
It depends from enterprise to enterprise. Someone who is using the tool, that is absolutely okay. In some cases, there are tools also like Cisco. Cisco also has a tool called CXTM. Similar way, there are tools like network automation tool. But the behind the scene of the script is again a Python scripting. You need to know still a scripting to put there behind the scene. Tool, guys, you are not speaking beyond mute. The tool is only the front end or a framework, only a front end to run the job or the task. But behind the scene, you still need to have a script running. Okay.
Sir, if you don't mind, repeat the question what the user has asked and what was your answer, sir? I couldn't understand it well.
Okay, we'll discuss that in the class. Okay, now actually people are in a different time slot and they might get disturbed. Are you enrolled person?
No, sir. Currently
Okay,
not.
then we can discuss this in the class once we start.
Yes.
Okay. So application is a way where you can run the task, but behind the scene you have to have the script still developed in Python to run that job.
Okay, sir.
All right, guys, I'll pass it on to the admission team. Sajid, are you in the call?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay, I'll just make you host.
Yeah, hello everyone. Myself Sajid. I'm student relationship manager and the counselor. So I'm here to give you all the details regarding the course, schedule, course details, and what all access materials related to the your pricing, enrollment. Every detail I'll be going to give you here. So quickly, can you guys can hear me and can you guys see my screen?
Yes.
Okay, thank
Yeah.
you. Thanks for confirmation. Let me start with my first slide. As you guys can see on the screen, here you can see the course syllabus and class schedules. So this will be going to be a Python network automation course. So here we'll be going to cover Python, Ansible, REST API, PyArts, then Cisco DevNet, then SD-WAN automation, then firewall automation on Palo Alto, FortiGate, then on your Cisco ASA firewalls, and on your FILTM load balancer, and on Juniper devices, and on Arista devices. And here from this batch, our trainer Sagar sir has added on one more major topic of robotic frameworks. Okay, so overall, this will be going to be a multi-vendor training. So you'll be getting to learn here a lot
And
of.
lot of other benefits. Sir, if you open the brochure,
Sorry. Uh, Yeah, someone was asking some question. Can you just repeat out if there is anything, or else I will continue. So at the end time, you can ask your question. You can just keep your question ready. So once I'm near to complete, so you can ask your question. I'll be there to answer you. Okay. These all will be going to cover. Okay. And next, let me move towards the class schedules. So here, as you can see, this will be going to be a weekend batch, Saturday and Sunday. We have two batch slots, which will be for like one is for 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. IST, and second one is of 9 p.m. to 11 p.m. IST. This I think it will be some 21 IST, 21 p.m. like for Indian time I'm talking about. Okay, one batch scheduled for 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. IST, and second batch is for 9 p.m. to 11 p.m. IST. Okay, the course duration will comes up for 2.5 to 3 months. Overall, it will take to complete the Python network automation course. Okay, and then let me move towards the next slide. So here, as you can see, you'll be getting the course enrollment access materials. Like let's say while you are going to enroll, so what all access will be going to provide you. Okay. Firstly, let me tell you, like, once you are going to enroll for this course, we'll be providing you the web portal access that will remain with you for lifetime. There you'll be getting your actual live class recorded versions, means what all live classes you'll be attending through the Zoom meeting, that recordings you'll be getting on your web portal, so that in future, if you want to go through the videos, if you want to practice something, you can go through that. Okay, and secondly, that access remains with you for lifetime access. Whenever you want, you can access it. And if you are preparing for your interviews, or if you are recalling it out, or you are referring with some of your queries, so anything for any case you are looking, so you can access it whenever the recording access remains with you for lifetime. Okay. And second, we'll be providing you the 24 bar 7 unlimited lab access that you can access it totally remotely. 24 into 7 unlimited. Whenever you want, you can access the labs which are present on our servers and cloud servers. You'll be getting the lab access for 6 months. 6 months you can access it 24 bar 7. So as per your time convenient, as per your time regions, whenever you are comfortable, whenever you are available to practice the labs. It may be the daytime and different time regions. So according to your time regions, you can practice your labs. This is the main feasibility thing which we have managed to bring it up to everyone can perform their labs easily at as per their time schedule. So we don't have any restrictions on lab practicing just for you'll be getting 3 hours of lab slot in that dedicated time you need to practice the labs of kind of thing. So we are giving it for 24/7 unlimited access. Whenever you want, you guys can access your labs. Okay. And we'll be providing you the dedicated materials like workbooks, PPTs, PDFs, step-by-step lab manuals. As our trainer Sagar sir mentioned, you'll be getting all script writing materials and all your text materials. How which all trainer Sagar sir will be generating scripts in the class that will be shared you through the G Drive or through the your official group. So from there you can download the scripts and you can implement in your lab environments. So at the same time you'll be confirming in the class with the trainer Sagar sir, and this will be going on, and you'll be getting all the end-to-end materials. Though easily you can access, you can refer, and you can download, and you can keep it with you as well. Okay, and the G Drive access lasts for lifetime. So if in case if you missed out as well, so you can re-download it once again. Okay, and we'll be providing you the home lab setup too. Let's say if you have the good configuration of your system, then we'll be helping you to set up a home lab so that once you are done with your remote lab access, further you can practice on your personal laptop. And that will also remain with you for lifetime access. Whenever you want, you can access the labs. That will remain with you for lifetime. Okay, and you just need to download the required files from the G drive. So we'll be redirecting you once you going to enroll. Once you enroll, so we will redirect you how you can download the files. Once you download it, you just need to raise a ticket on our support DL, confirming that I have downloaded so and so files for home lab setup by sharing the driver. One of our team member will connect with you, and he or she will do the home lab setup on your laptop, or it may be on your personal server too. Okay, and we'll be providing you the 24/7 backend support from our network journey team. If you are facing any issues, any queries regarding to the course, or regarding to the portal, or regarding to the lab, or it may be related to the topics, or it may be regarding your classes, anything it may be, you just need to raise a ticket on our support DL. One of our team member will connect with you, and we will resolve your issues accordingly in meantime. Okay.